Hey everyone, and welcome back. We are going to be working on some of our onboarding and registration screens, so let's get to it. So I'm going to just select the frame tool, and I'm going to go into here and grab a 13 Pro, and then the first thing I'm going to do is I am actually going to go into my layout grids and grab one of these styles here. And then I'm going to just name this intro, so you can follow along with me and try to do this as well. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take all this content and just paste it into here. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my assets section here, and I'm going to grab a button. I'm just going to grab this button over here, and this is how I'm going to just basically start filling a lot of this content in. And I'm going to fill the container, and then I will just replace that text. So I'll start finalizing basically how certain things are going to, just be like in terms of like, using capital case. I'm going to not use capital case. I'm just going to start with the uppercase over here, and then, lowercase. It's just easier to read. This is not really on brand, so I'm going to go and select a 14. Let's see, we're going to go down to our labels, and we'll select something like that, and then we'll actually start using some of our styles. Okay, there we go. Maybe we'll make it bold. Perfect. Okay, and then we have some of these images. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, let's check our layers over here to see what we did. So we have our images that are normal and our images that are blurry. I'm going to remove the images that are blurry, and I'm just going to keep the images that are normal for now. I am going to just make this the H1, and then I'm going to select. So I'm going to probably use like that. And now I'm going to start actually filling in some of this stuff. So I'm going to select some image styles here. You can make it easy on yourself so you don't have to go too far down. And then we can just start selecting some of these styles that, that we want. So I have that one. So I'm just going to call this I'm going to have an image there. So I'll just leave that. I'll bring this one up so I can replace it. I just put that there. And I'm just trying to make a nice little, just a nice little screen over here in terms of just like people will come into this app and then they will want to, just see, something cool right from the beginning. I'm just loosely placing because we can do something pretty cool with this in terms of just the, if we want to do an animation, we can have these like floating around in some way. So definitely a lot of options there. Perfect. Just keep that like that. And then I'm going to select this one. I don't know, maybe a pair of sunglasses or something like that. And then over here, I'm just going to delete that one. I'm going to put another book. So you can use also whatever like items you want. So don't feel free like you have to use what I've given you. You can always swap them out. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make copies of all of these and then layer blur them. So I'm going to copy that and just shift them to the back and bring them down a bit. And then I'm just going to select them all and rename them all as blur. And there we go. And then I'm going to go into my effects, go into layer blur, and then shift it to like 100. I'm going to turn off my grids. For me, it's going to be Shift G. You can also come up here and, find the shortcut, and then you can just toggle it off manually. So I have everything like that. And then I'm just going to put the opacity to something like 50. We can even bring that down a bit. And just like that, we have our very own, home screen. Now we can go in and, individually group them. Just call this like layer blur. Perfect. So I'm just going to do this individually for every single one of them. And the reason why I'm using a group is it's just easier to scale these items in a group since they're just images. And then we can leave them like that. So I have this one named title. I'm just going to turn on my my grids again, make sure everything is aligned to this grid. And then same with this, everything looks good. And there we go. Now we've created our own intro screen. Perfect. Let's end that right here and we'll move on to something else next.